It's another prophetic series, and this one is five prophetic codes explained. The concept of the prophetic code is a bit new, but not really new. If you are among the teaming prophets or a professional prophets, that's a prophet that's already in a prophetic office and you already engage in some prophetic codes. It's also important that you know how to have them engaged at a more profound professional depth. And for those who are just coming into the prophetic code or prophetic faculty, rather, it's important for you to be aware what prophetic codes really are. Beyond prophetic codes, I have what are called the prophetic cards, and having engaged the prophetic cards in detailing prophecy over the years and in lecturing my students from around the world, I mean, prophets and apostles alike, prophetic people in general, the results have been profound. So the both serve us to come back with the greatest results. Prophetic codes offer us room to stand in the realm of the spirit, to be able to appreciate things in the spirit realm, either by way of hearing or perception or visualizing, that's seeing and the likes when you engage the prophetic senses. As to the prophetic codes we want to touch here, I want to pick the prophetic code of shadow, for instance. What we do here, specifically as prophetic folks, is on the account of the understanding of the principle of the code of shadow, you come close to the person you are supposed to prophesy to, and you allow your shadow to make contact with that person. That's the object of your prophecy. This can be a human being like you, or any object you want to prophesy about. The fact that my shadow make contact with you unlocks your prophetic details for me. I mean prophetic particulars, and I begin to prophesy to you. God himself engaged this principle. One of the ways to do this is when you go back to Psalm 90 or 91, and you see the psalmist saying there that talking about the person who dwells in the secret place of the Almighty. You know, there is something there. He that dwells in the secret place of the Almighty shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And then he talked about the great things that God is going to be doing around the life of this person. Basically, what we're talking about, picking it for prophecy, is that if I spend time in the secret place of the Almighty, his shadow comes to overshadow me. Any time the shadow of God overshadows me, it gives God every ground to be able to see everything about me. He engaged it in prophesying or in dealing with Moses. The moment he showed up, his shadow overshadowed Moses. He, through Moses, began to see everything about Moses. So once my shadow came over you, I can prophesy basically everything about you. But there are principles guiding these prophetic codes and how to elicit this prophetic code for engagement in prophecy. Let's move to the prophetic code of prophetic wisdom. Little do people know that when we ask, where are you watching me from? During a live section, or I look at you in a session like this and I say, what's your name? This person is like, what is he saying? Okay, can I prophesy to you? And somebody's like, why is he asking me? Is he supposed to prophesy to me? Must he take permission from me? No, I'm engaging a prophetic code, actually. The moment you answer that question, your prophetic particulars open to me, and I begin to prophesy to you. I was prophesying to somebody, and the person told me, I'm from Ghana. That's how Accra opened up. So there are principles that we engage. Every prophetic code has got principles, okay, that we stand on to prophesy to folks. I moved to the prophetic code of guessing, engaged by the prophet Elijah, a major prophet, and guessing. He did abstract guessing, okay, but we can do all kinds of guessing. Guessing are in numbers of ways. We can do abstract guessing, we can do direct guessing, and the likes. So Gehazi, the servant of the prophet, ran after this guy, Naaman, for gain, and the prophet was at home expecting him to come, and he came back, and the prophet said, where are you coming from? And Gehazi said, no, thy servant went nowhere. And the man said, went on my mind with you, my heart with you. When the man turned from his chariot and began to give you this and that, is it time to receive this and that? It was then that it dawned on Gehazi that the man he was sitting with or working with was not a man you can joke with, But the thing is that what Elisha the prophet did was abstract gazing. I can decide to sit in my office, project you in my imagination, and begin to unlock you. The thing is that the first thing that happens is that a real image of you that I do know will appear to me. And that's the image I'm going to be looking at until the other details about you that I don't know now opens up for me. But this is not because you are sitting with me. Howbeit, when I'm in a session like this, I can do the same thing and get your prophecy. You are standing in front of me and everything is literally closed up. And it's like I have nothing to prophesy about you. That I'll gaze at you and pick the prophecy. Let me stop there and move to another prophetic code. This one is my own prophetic code, which I discovered. What God has done for prophets, it's profound. Okay, we've got our brain, and our brain is extended as a root through our vertebral column, and it's now spreaded into our body through meninges and then nerves, and then nerve endings called dendrites. The dendrites are what you see on the skin. So if I touch you now, your dendrites will pick it and transmit the information to your brain. That's what it is. But this same brain, through parietal lobe, connects to your subconscious memory, where the seat of the spirit is supposed to be in the mind. For a prophet, the dendrites, for every other person, the dendrite stops with the skin and then the hair on the skin. But for prophets, there is an extension beyond the skin. So prophets have got the ability to be here and to be able to tap signals using their dendrites from about how many meters around them, even in kilometers around them, depending on how sharp the prophetic receptor of that prophet is. I had said I want to pick one of my prophetic codes, the one I discovered. And I discovered that it's nowhere in the prophetic code so far discovered. This is the prophetic code of the prophetic sea. What do I call the prophetic code of the prophetic sea? So in the prophetic code of the prophetic sea, what I do is literally come close to you enough to be able to disturb the thin film of the air layer around your body. This doesn't mean I'm going to touch you. I won't touch you. And I won't be in a distance like within a close room, like those persons who are in the studio with me right now. I can engage the prophetic code of proximity, which is prophetic code of number 1, S up, purported. That's like when I use 4 at Paba and 4 at Paba to pick that as a prophetic code, okay? But in engaging the prophetic code of the prophetic sea, I'm not going to be taking advantage of us being within this room. I'm going to go close to the person right before me to be prophesied to. And I make a close, range contact with this person, but not like contact, a little space. And I disturb, because everybody you see, anywhere you meet them, have got prophetic information released or dispatched around them, with embedded within the thin air layer that surrounds them. So if you have your prophetic senses activated and your prophetic receptors particularly activated, you can come close enough to be able to dictate prophecies from them. That's why when they were with Jesus, he could easily perceive what they were thinking inside their heart. That's called dokime or dokimazo in Greek. So the prophetic is got a lot of systematic approach. I think I want to stop here for this video. I'll do more in the next series. But the thing is that I have positioned you to understand that prophecy is more than the Holy Spirit has come upon me, so I just want to bounce and begin to prophesy or whatnot. That's why people prophesy of knowledge. Paul said, I bear them witness that they have zeal, but their zeal is not according to the knowledge of God. Romans 10 and from verse 1. And he decided he was going to teach them so that they will be able to have the zeal according to the knowledge of God. Ezra decided, I'm going to study the law, then do it, then teach it. Status in Israel. So we have prophets who are prophetic mafia. If you check all of them, these are prophets who have taken their time to dig into the nitty-gritty of how the prophetic was done before them. Let's talk about David being the greatest man in terms of battle, as at the same time a prophet. It was said of him by Joab, his general. He said, your father is a man of battle, and he will ask you, how come that this and that died? David, he will ask us, because they knew that this guy is a professional. He knew angles you stand in battle, position and postures that you stand, and no arrow, discus or javelin or stone or whatever can ever touch your body, because he was a professional in that. So when it comes to the prophetic, we've got professionals. But the thing is that we've got anointed unprofessionals. Anointed unprofessionals are like David coming to deal with Goliath. And anointed unprofessionals are those who listen to the leading of the Spirit. So the findings of prophetic codes are born from revelations. They are not taught in theology. They are not taught in Bible school. These are revelations of Scripture. So when you sit down to work in depth with prophetic codes, you know that these things are not normal. So I brought you to a place that you have a foretaste of this thing. In the prophetic, we have postures, okay? And there are a lot of prophetic codes that support postures. That's why we have prophetic code of the perpendicular, which is the deepest prophetic code engaged by the prophet Isaiah. You get that? It's the deepest prophetic code. With it, I can prophesy 3,000 years into the future or 3,000 years behind. But you have to know, when he prophesied about Cyrus to be born in Isaiah chapter 45, the man was actually engaged in the prophetic code of the perpendicular. But little will you know that that was the key. Ezekiel did the same thing when he was measuring and exploring the temple in Ezekiel chapter 46 and 46 or 47. He was exploring the temple that was revealed to him. You get that? So there is that secret about positions and postures before you will prophesy. So you stand in awkward or unbiblical direction and you are shouting, "Can I prophesy?" You will see nothing. You don't see everything standing in any in the directions you like. There are scriptural directions and postures for picking smart or clean or forensic prophecy, and then you come back with what is called 100% prophetic accuracy. God bless you. And may the Lord release his unction upon you to prophesy like you've never done before. I want to ask you to join the Shiloh School of CES. Pick my prophetic courses, particularly the certificate course in forensic prophecy with the Shiloh School of CES, if you want to deepen your knowledge in the prophetic and take your prophetic work to another dimension. You can also, if you've gone beyond that, sign up for the diploma course in forensic prophecy with the Shiloh School of CES, and your life will never remain the same again forever. God bless you.